Why don't we kick off this part of the day with our fabulous nutritionist, Sarah Di Lorenzo, who loves to come in bringing baked home goods and imparting knowledge as she goes. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Ed.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Very good.
We're going to focus on a couple of things. The lasagna you've made me.
Yes.
And then also chatting about general detoxing and in fact mini detoxes which you can do as well.
Yes.
And even cleanses. I suppose there's a difference. I don't quite know the difference between an absolute detox or a cleanse. I bet one's harder than the other, right?
Not really. They both have their challenges, but I think people kind of don't understand the difference between a cleanse, a fast and a detox, and they kind of put them in the same umbrella. But to understand a fast, well, it is a fast. It's obviously an abstinence from food, but looking at detox and cleanses. Mm-hmm. So detoxing is actually bringing toxins out of the blood system, taking them to the liver and excreting them. So it's actually a reduction of toxins, whereas a cleanse actually is more associated with the bowel, and it's where you might have a juice cleanse or you might take certain herbs, and it's actually more to do with your digestive system, and it's actually cleaning out the digestive tract as opposed to pulling in toxins from the body and processing them for elimination through the liver.
And how do you facilitate that with the certain foods or drinks that you have for a detox?
Oh, there's loads of things for a detox. There's so many different kinds. I mean, clinically, I offer 3 different kinds of detoxes. So I just do a 2-week mini detox, which is the one I've written myself. But I also will specialise in a liver and a gut detox. So anyone who comes into my clinic will fill out a questionnaire like I got you to do.
Right, extensive. It's like doing HSC all over again. Okay.
No, it's not.
I passed. I get to go to uni.
You did. So I get everyone to just... There's ways you can test if someone has toxicity.
Yep.
So when you look at those testing methods, you can see things like you can do it through urine, you can do it through a hair tissue mineral analysis. I start off with a detox questionnaire where I
with a questionnaire over those options. Yep.
And you can also do live blood testing as well. But anyway, so the questionnaire is basically you ask, it's in 3 sections, which I got you to do, and what it indicates whether or not you're more focused on a gut detox or a liver detox.
Oh, okay.
And you, Ed, actually, you just need to, if you were to do a detox, it would more be just the Health Reset Detoxification Program. So you actually, the mark for is 35 and under, and you got 35, so you're on the cusp. You're totally on the cusp. But it would be that's where you're a candidate for maybe a mini detox, which is the one I'm selling.
Had I got 36, I'd have demanded a retrial and thrown myself at the mercy of the nutrition court and pleaded insanity. So I'm right there on the cusp. Okay,
yes, you are.
Geez, I'm your lab rat. You've given me disgusting things to eat and drink, poked and prodded me, zinc. Now I've done tests and I'm just on the cusp, so I'm happy.
Yeah,
so what does that mean specifically? I need a mini detox?
Yeah, you just need a mini detox. So you would it's really something like the one I've got, and it's basically you take 2 weeks out of your life. So I look at detox holistically. I don't look at it, I think to detox, you've got to detox it's got to encompass many elements of your life. So first of all, let's just start with food. Mm-hmm. The detox dietary principles you look at is that it's a clean whole food diet. Mm-hmm. It's plant-based, it's gluten-free, and it's dairy-free. So we're avoiding kind of dairy products because we're looking at a plant-based option. It's alkalizing. You go organic, nothing out of packets, nothing out of tins. Everything is just got to be fresh produce. Breaking down the foods for a detox, you'd be looking at what kind of proteins do you have. So you have to think white proteins. So we're steering away from the heavy...
Char grilled Charlies, awesome. Chicken?
Well, you can have chicken, yes.
Yeah, great.
You can have chicken, you can have fish, but not shellfish. Okay. And you can have tofu, tempeh, turkey. So all those kind of white things. It's for 2 weeks.
Pork?
So, no, wouldn't steer. Yeah, I know. I steer away
the other
from
white
pork.
Meat?
No, I know they say that, but no, I don't recommend that one. And then when we're looking at things like fruits and vegetables, you can have as much as you want. Detox isn't about weight loss, which people often might think it's about. It is about detoxing. So it's about, as I've just said, it's about drawing in toxins and eliminating them. As many fruit and vegetables you want, nothing out of packets, nothing out of tins again, nothing frozen or dried.
Okay. And the
Yes.
idea is what? It's like flushing the oil out of a car engine to make the blood a bit cleaner and run smoother. And
The idea is and also a lot of hydration as well.
Yep.
The idea is just to really clean out the body. The whole concept of it is to actually reduce your toxic load.
Mm-hmm.
And toxic load comes from everything from environment. It comes from just inner city living. It can come from if your employment. There's just a lot of processed foods, alcohol, stress, that kind of toxic load. And then you want to reduce that, and so therefore the goal is you're actually increasing your toxic resistance.
Okay.
So you're becoming stronger. You know, you've spent that time, you've removed a lot of saturated fats out of your diet, you're very plant-based, you're very healthy. But in that period, Ed, you're also not having alcohol, you're not having coffee or tea.
Son of a...
I know, but the liquids you are having, and it's the liquids that are recommended are just things like herbal teas, water. You can infuse yourself with mint or lemon. You can put apple cider vinegar in it. You can just drink, But the thing I say to all my patients, because for me, as I said to you before, I look at detox holistically, and for me, if people say to me, you know what, I still wouldn't mind a glass of wine with my husband on a Friday night. I can't give up coffee. I'm kind of, you know what I just say, I would rather you do 90% of that detox than not do it at all, because there is so many other amazing elements to a detox.
I would say a detox is easier than a fasting.
It depends, actually. Some people, I think it depends on what kind of fast you do. But I think, a detox, I see detox as actually nurturing. So in my program, and the way I look at detox is not only are you looking at food and you're cleaning up your food and you're going very plant-based as possible and avoiding those saturated fats. I also look at the other aspects of it where there's that self-care element to a detox.
What's that mean?
Okay, so what that means is so I just say to people who start this, you basically take 2 weeks out of your life. Mm-hmm. We're going to overhaul your life. People who are stressed, the harried people running around, mothers busy, everyone's just got too much on. We're all giving in our employment, with our children, parenting, relationships. It's a time to stop, reflect, put all that energy back into yourself, not only, of course, with gorgeous food and organic food and all that kind of thing, but also with that self-care element. So the aspects I look at for that are things like spend that time, withdraw yourself from your social life as well. Spend that time doing things like, if you've got the money to, maybe spa treatments. Things you can do at home are things like Epsom salt baths. They're amazing. It's actually 2 cups of Epsom salt per bath 3 times a week, as opposed to just a sprinkle.
Right, yeah.
And you're actually laying there, and that's really detoxifying. That's good for that's actually it may assist with weight loss, but it's also extremely relaxing. The other thing I promote is dry skin brushing. It can be one of those things. These are things you can do at home without spending a packet at a day spa, although it would really be nice to go to the day spa for the day. But just with the dry skin brushing. So what you're doing is you've got the dry skin brush, which you can get online, you can get from pharmacies. It does hurt a little bit at first, but you spend that time and it's just circular motions and it's improved circulation, takes all those dead skin cells off, and as well as that, it's good for your lymphatic system.
Right. If you've ever had a pony, it's just like brushing your pony every day.
In an upward motion.
Okay, fantastic.
Have you had a pony then?
Do I look like I've ever had a pony? Now, you say this specifically targets the liver, but there must be other organs that benefit from this.
Absolutely,
detox as well.
The gut. So the gut, So there's things you have to think of what we put into our gut. There's medications, there's coffees, there's refined foods, there's processed foods, there's alcohol, lifestyle, tea. There's lots of things that we put into our gut. Now, I mean, a cleanse is more associated with cleansing out the gut, but you can actually just focus on getting some, just some good herbs in there and just doing a bit of gut care as well. So that if you've got symptoms, if you go to a nutritionist or detoxing is great for people who may have things like they've gone and done a whole lot of food intolerance testing and they still don't know why they don't feel great, or they've got fertility issues and they don't understand that either. And so that's people who have things like, regular headaches and they don't know why, or they feel lethargic, or they've got a bit of depression, or they've got some anxiety, or they're forgetful, moody, if they've got a lot of PMS, or if they've got pains and aches, or they're tired all the time. All those little ailments that you can't get an explanation for. Why not go? I had someone come in recently, actually, and they were having trouble getting pregnant. He'd spent a bucket load on food intolerance testing, couldn't work out why. He just never felt great. He was never on top of his game. I sent him off for a hair tissue mineral analysis, and it came back that he had mercury levels that were actually off the charts.
Wow.
So he's now we're just working with some supplements. He's taking some N-acetylcysteine, which is a supplement to help to reduce toxicity, and we're addressing his zinc levels and a lot of stuff like that. And so he would never have known that, and he's now been doing I've been working with him clinically, and he's actually now for the first time feeling like he's on top of his game. And he's a really fit male he's got about 3 black belts, and a really clean
3 black belts.
He's got 3.
You mean in his wardrobe or from karate?
Karate, martial arts, 3 different kinds.
Now,
yes.
to be fair, you're going to do this for 2, 3, 4 weeks, possibly longer. You're going to feel rotten in the first week, right? If you're cutting out things like coffee and the things we're kind of dependent on.
Well, it's just like anything, any change with anything. So I always say to any of my patients who are starting it, they've got to have the attitude that they're actually doing themselves a favour. They're giving themselves a gift, right? So change your mindset for starters. But yes, a headache. You're laughing. Yeah, well, a headache is often, in the first couple of days, people might ring me and say, or text me. I let my patients text me, and I'm like, Sarah, I've got a little bit of a headache. And if it goes on past day 4, I will say, because that's a withdrawal from the caffeine usually, or the soft drinks or whatever they've had. Yeah. I always, if it goes on for more than day 4 or even up to day 5, I just often will refer to them to the GP. If it could be something else just to cover bases, but generally I find that by day 5 it's gone and they're quite into it.
All right, we're talking detoxes, cleanses as well. Maybe fasting is something you're interested in. Sarah's here. We might just come back after the break if that's okay. If you've got any questions or queries about the process, you want to give it a go, or you've done it and felt $1 million after a couple of weeks, let us know. 13 12 83 is our number. It's your Better Living afternoon here on Talking Lifestyle. Nice to be with you Friday, Arvo. Ed Phillips here, joined by our favourite nutritionist, Sarah Di Lorenzo, who's been doing some baking at home this week and brought in a little lasagna, which we'll taste test in just a little bit. But we're chatting about detox. Is this something I could have during a detox? As a matter of interest?
No, you couldn't. Damn. Because it's got pork and veal meats in it.
Indian giver.
No, but we're not detoxing now. That's all healthy alternatives.
Okay, so I'm looking at maybe a 2-week detox. I'll report back to you on how that's going.
Absolutely,
and see what happens, all right? In the meantime, we're happy to take some of your calls, 13 12 83. Jenny's called through from Hunters Hill. Hi, Jenny.
Oh, hi. How are you going?
Well, we've got Sarah here listening. What's up?
Thank you. My daughter is actually suffering from stress and anxiety, and she's got to the stage where she's vomiting and she has these huge heart palpitations. So she went and had an ECG done, which said that she's got a arrhythmia, a normal QT, so she can't take any medication at this point in time. And so she feels faint and she gets really severe headaches, and she's had this for some time now, but we just can't seem to get to the bottom of it.
Have you ever? So you've never done any testing for toxicity at all for her?
Well, we did some blood levels, and she had extremely high vitamin D levels, but she doesn't take vitamin D supplements.
Do you know? Yeah, okay. Do you know how high it was? What the range was?
It was just below toxic, I believe.
Okay, yeah, that's quite interesting. So does she have a lot of sun exposure?
Well, she's a teenager, so she's out in the sun all the time, yes. So, but she does wear sunscreen because she's got that really pale skin. So she wears sunscreen all the time. So
I would suggest with her something like if you can't get to the bottom, have you done food intolerance testing?
Well, we're just at the stage now that we're looking into all that sort of thing, because she's vomiting, she's feeling fatigued, fainting. She's panicking and stressed, and so we're now looking at food intolerances. Maybe it was something to do with that. She's got quite a healthy diet.
That's fine. The healthy diet's one thing, but food intolerance is another. So it's also maybe looking at it would be, for me, when just thinking of that clinical picture, it would be thinking about, first of all, allergies, and then I would definitely be looking at some food intolerance testing. There's a test you can do called the ALCAT test, which is a fantastic test which covers a lot, as well as that. Sorry, what did you say?
No, go on. That was called the ALPAC, wasn't it?
No, ALCAT, ALCAT. You do that functionally, yeah. And as well as that, I would be looking at heavy metal toxicity. The thing about the symptoms, like the vomiting and all that kind of stuff, sometimes they can make people even more anxious because they haven't actually got a diagnosis, so they don't understand what's going on. So it can exacerbate the anxiety. So my recommendation would be to look at some food intolerance testing, just to recap. Definitely looking at toxicity with a hair tissue mineral analysis. I provide all those, and as well as what about her iron levels? I'm sure you know all that.
Yeah, her iron levels were a little bit low, but not too low. So
do you remember the reading?
No, I don't have it with me, but I know it was a little bit low. But so she's been eating red meat now and trying to get her iron levels back up.
Yes.
But of course, you can't take multivitamins because it's got vitamin D in it. So so it's sort of like a catch-22. Everything she does, it's sort of good on one instance but bad on the other, and yeah.
The one thing you're sort of at the start of the journey of a health resolution for her, so you just have to kind of have that in mind when you're starting, and it really is just going through trial and error and having some testing done to find out what's at the bottom of this.
Make a little journey from Hunters Hill across to Sarah's clinic. Must probably be a nice drive through the tunnels, over the bridges, get to Bondi, get sorted out, Jenny.
Well, that's a good option. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sarah's website, sdlmethod.com, if you'd like to follow that up. Good mum to have on the case for you, though, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just have a quick look at this home baking, because I'm rather hungry. You've made a beautiful lasagna. Now, you're saying that your friends and other clients are hearing about some of the dishes you make for your girls, right?
Look,
They're catching on.
It's completely innate in me to do a healthy twist on food. And I mean, we did that fantastic segment last week where you tasted the deliciousness of the Anzac biscuit as well as the caramel slice. But look, with my home, for feeding my family, so last night I made a lasagna for my family. I looked at it and I thought, Ed is going to try this.
Bless you.
Yeah, because you wanted the savoury last week. You weren't really, you told me you were more inclined. So what I did with this, and this is how I feed my family, and my kids love it. So it's a lasagna. It's basically done with the pork. I've done with, of course, my own tomato sauce, which is just tomatoes reduced, Roma tomatoes reduced, and then a bit of some herbs through it and whisked together with a tiny bit of olive oil. That's my tomato base, which I cook the pork and veal in. Wow. A little bit of onion and garlic. So that was my meat sauce. And then if I was doing it for adults, I might have tweaked it a little bit more and threw a few more herbs and spices in there. But this was just a general family meal. Yeah. And then my bechamel was done with the cauliflower sauce. So 3/4 of a cauliflower reduced in some florets, just chopped up, reduced in some vegetable stock, and then in a pan some organic butter and 2 cloves of garlic just fried off on the side. I combined those in the blender with a dash of organic milk. So that was that's my bechamel. And then all I did was I had 2 zucchinis in the fridge, so I thinly sliced them, and then I just layered. So the base layer is, of course, the meat sauce, and it's the zucchini, the cauliflower sauce, and then repeat with a little bit of cheese. And then, of course, I'm always one to garnish everything with herbs because they are very detoxifying. And there it is, Ed. I brought you in some lunch.
This is the greatest.
Look, a lot of people always ask me about my food, and I like to teach people that food can be, you can still have amazing food, and it can still be delicious, even though you're not having a lot of those of flour, of sugar. Oh, sorry, and then I have to mention the tiniest bit of sweetness I put in there, which I sweeten with is over the meat sauce. I probably put a teaspoon of maple syrup.
Yum.
Yeah, just to bring out even
lasagna.
Yeah, always, in the meat sauce, just to kind of give it that. Oh, and it's, of course, Himalayan, my favourite pink salt. So that is done, and that's all vegetables. And grated carrot through the meat sauce.
Yeah, so yummy. God, that's nice. Even stone cold. It's really nice.
How delicious is it, right?
Yeah, beautiful.
It is good. So I had a lot of people since last week's segment, and a lot of people who come and who I'll cook for, and they're always asking me about my cooking and my twists on everything. I can't bring myself to not do the most healthy alternative for a recipe. So I do have all my recipes together, and I actually am putting together my recipe book.
Oh, great.
Yeah, of all my favourites and all my twists and how I feed my family, myself, and different things. And if anyone follows me at SDL Method on Instagram, they can see when this will be launched. And of course, it will be sold off my website. But there'll be about 40 recipes, and it's how I feed my family. And my kids love it, and there you go. There's
I'll be there
lunch.
for the launch. By that I mean the testing, but
Yes.
I'll be there for the tasting as well.
Yes.
That's great. Now, look, not everybody has the desire and the amazing care that you have to make these sort of meals. Are there, and I want to do in the little air bunnies quotes,
Yes.
some cheats. Are there some takeaway options that you go, that's really good? Is there, if you went to a salad bar where they just sell jacket potatoes, is there some way to get this quick that you go, oh, it's not too bad. That's in my 90%.
I can always find something out of something.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, one of the things I actually do for all of my clients, and I have a few clients, is I teach people how to, if they want to stay on a program, I actually teach them how to go out to a restaurant and read a menu and know what options to have. But there's always options in everything. I believe in life, there's always a solution. So, yeah, if you're at a salad bar, potatoes are great. Of course, if there's a sweet potato, it's got a low glycemic index. So I made sweet potato chips last night to accompany that for my daughters. And
didn't bring any of those in?
They ate them all.
Crap.
They go like that. Sweet potato chips are fantastic.
Yeah,
They're so good. Yeah, and then so there is all. I think you can find something in every menu, in every salad bar. If there's things that if there's things that I can't find, I will always go up to a chef and say, "Do you mind throwing this together? Could you put the toppings of all that pizza together and make me a salad because I'm gluten free or whatever?" And so
I'm just thinking, if you go past a sumo salad place on your way to work, can you grab a couple of those salads? That might be
absolutely.
Good?
Yeah, sumo salads are great. Yeah, there's a few of them that I would just be avoiding the ones with, and I do tell this to my patients when they're like, I can't take my lunch to work on the program, and if they see those things, my advice to that is to avoid anything with a creamy dressing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's and of course with croutons in it. But, lentils and any kind of quinoa or other grains, rice, wild rice, fabulous. Yeah, delicious.
Oh, coleslaw, I'll miss you.
No,
it's not forever.
What about the potato salad? Were you going to miss that one too?
Oh, no, I'm okay on that because
Caesar salad.
I'll just have sweet potato chips and they'll be okay.
They're good.
No, some of these places are doing great things with barley and bits of quinoa and so on, and you just think, well, it's got to be good. It's going to be
the change is huge. I mean, I live in Bondi and I follow a lot of the local businesses on Instagram, and I'm always got my finger on the pulse of what's happening down there, and they're popping up everywhere. People are very aware now, and the awareness of my industry and of nutrition and of health, and people even understanding, just how much hidden sugars is in people understanding hidden sugar in foods and what they're putting in their body. The awareness is increasing, and I love it. I just think it's fantastic.
Some of those About Life stores are popping up as well.
Oh, they're fantastic.
I'm not sure if they've made it to Melbourne yet. I hope so.
They're Whole Foods.
Yes.
I love all Whole Foods. I love non-farmed salmon, so I'm always going to Whole Foods at Woollahra and buying it because they actually import it. But that's where you can get non-farmed salmon from, frozen.
Right. But you can zoom through. And what I'm saying is if you are on your way home and you need to get something, you can't cook a magnificent lasagna here with all your creations, there's some other options that'll get you pretty close and keep you on that program rather than going for a dim sum.
And can I just say that my 15-year-old, she works at About Life.
Oh, fantastic.
I know. She's great down there.
What a perfect fit. You drop her there 10 minutes early, don't you?
No, but when I go in there to pick her up sometimes, or I might do a shop down there because I do love About Life. And they have a bar down there, and they have a hot food bar and a salad bar. So if you're working, you can scoot through there on your way home, any of those things, and they've got delicious food she gets some at the end of her shift, and she's like, Mum, what do you want? And I'm like, okay, get that and that and that.
Yeah, beauty.
Yeah,
on to you. What a great
About Life are on to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those interested in a detox, perhaps a cleanses for you, maybe some fasting, Sarah can help you out with that, and you can do it interstate. You can be online, FaceTime, Skype, whatever. Yeah,
all of that. Yeah, I have a lot of FaceTime or Skype sessions. I do a lot of those, and I actually have people in Singapore, and I have some people in America as well. So
good.
Yeah,
great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so just look up sdlmethod.com, and you'll be back next week with some sweet potato chippies.
The precious one.
I love it. Delicious, Sarah. Thanks for that.
Thank you.